Negropeans, the enemies of black people. Welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual program, Target Individual Experience. So yeah, I keep looking at the license plate. Let me do the same thing too, looking at the license plate. So, you know, whenever I go into the Stop and Shop, I always notice that the people who they have as most of the people who they have as most of the security or the people that you have to give your bags to when you walk in, they're Haitians, right? And I always, at times, not always, but there are a few times, I'll ask them, I say, what is it about Haiti that America and the West have sought to keep at the bottom ever since the Haitian Revolution, right? I said, even though Haiti paid back reparations to France, remember, which nation has ever won a war against another nation and had to pay that nation that lost to them back? You name me, which nation has ever won a war against another nation and the nation that won had to pay the nation that lose reparation and restitution? But yet, here in America, right, they don't want to give black Americans reparations. So I always ask these Haitians this, and it doesn't surprise me that they don't know, right? It doesn't surprise me that they don't know. Not at all. Right? What surprised me is how little or how less they think of themselves. Right? But again, should I say that really surprised me? Right? I mean, it surprised me in the sense that we're living in 2024 with all the information out there, and these people won't even go and do their research. So I always ask the question, what is it about the Haitian people that the West, America and the West, have continuously sought to keep at the bottom in every single way? Right? And the answer to that is in their DNA. Okay? See, like I said, black people, we are believers, right? Instead of people that know. We rather be people that believe because of how we're conditioned. So we don't want to know anything. We just want to believe, right? This is why we'll wake up in the morning and say, well, I believe that I'm going to get this or get that, right? Instead of doing the things to know how to get certain things and get it. We rather believe. So I have to tell my Haitian brothers and sisters, it's in your DNA. They understand how, just as how trauma is passed down through generations, they know that the warrior mentality, right? The Christ, I should say the various crises that black people have throughout their history will return. Okay? Remember, just look at it, let me point it out in a different way. So when you go in Europe, you have these, what they call the hierarchies, the king, the queens, right? And they have their offspring, their children, and they raise their children to do what? No, thank you. They raise give me something that says coming soon. Jesus ain't coming. All right? Quit fooling yourself. But anyhow. So just as you have the king and queen, though the monarchy no longer rules, right? They're there to maintain a tradition, right, without any sort of power, right? When I say power, meaning that in terms of running the country in a manner in which they've done before. The monarchy, right? That's what I was looking for. Right? So in England, France, though you may, I think France do have done away with the monarchy altogether, but England and the Netherlands still maintain their monarchy, but without state power, right? But the monarchy, they're paid, you know, what I call welfare, right? Just to keep their tradition. Okay, and every offspring they have will grow up to be king, queen, lord, what do you call it? Count, or what have you, duchess, right? Princess, prince. Okay? So the same thing could be said about those fearless warriors, those black kings and queens of Haiti that defeated the mighty French army and also helped defeat the Spanish, right? When Haiti helped Santo Domingo became independent. Because without Haitians, the Haitian fighters, the warriors, the kings and queens, you wouldn't have a Dominican Republic as we have it today. Let's not forget that history, okay? But again, any contributions to black people through our history, it is diminished, right? It is diminished, it is made to be forgotten, okay? And so remember, we as black people, we got to understand that, you know, no matter how hard they try to erase our greatness, right? We're still going to be great, even great under the limited ability that we have today, living in Western countries that is hell-bent on suppressing us, right? Because again, they don't believe in equality, they believe in rulership, and they will always believe in rulership over black people, right? While giving you the illusion of equality. But remember, equality is just an illusion. You got to look at the facts, right? Are we separate and equal? Are we integrated and equal? And the answer to both those questions is no. We are separate and unequal, and we are integrated and also unequal. Okay, so when you start to look at those facts, you get to understand that no matter if you're living in a liberal city like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, California, right? Or you living in a conservative part of the country, okay, it is the same. You're just living under two different ideological political belief, but you're still living under the same overall umbrella and the belief of white supremacy. Okay? You gotta understand that. So basically, because we live in a city like New York, you think that it's not racist because you don't look at the facts, the truth. You look at the school system, the most segregated in the country, right? Look at the discrimination that happens in the real estate, housing, right? We're not looking at that. Look at how we are discriminated against when it comes to having certain kind of businesses, right? We're not looking at that. Because if you can condition a people to become comfortable, acceptance on being oppressed, but doing it in such a way you make them believe that they're not oppressed. Okay? And I always bring it back to this. Go look it up. The poisoning of young black children that continues up until today. Okay, don't think that it stopped. Right? There is no anger. There is no outrage from the black community. It is business as usual. We go into the church and we pretend that these things don't exist. We pretend that lead poisoning is totally normal, right? Without any care or concern that when those children grow up, right, what will happen to them? There's no accountability from the government, whether it be the U.S. government or your state and city government, as to accepting any responsibility, just like with Flint, Michigan, right? But we ignore these things. We ignore these things. We go into the churches on a Sunday and we forget all the stuff that they do to black people, right? We see how Donald Trump could use a black pastor who will go into a black church and have the majority white people and a few black people in there, and they call it, he calls it black outreach. Well, I guess white is the new black. All right, let's start moving forward to that, because again, using the color black. Using the color black, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm the divider. That's what they love to tell you. I'm the divider. What's up, my brother?
All right.
Speaking the truth. Right? As a black person, you speak the truth. You're the divider. I want you to understand this. But the people who are the uniters are the ones who are lying to you. Right? That's who the people who come to unite do. Right? Without them ever understanding that you cannot unite a people totally by lying to them. All you're doing is giving them a false belief. But when you speak the truth and people make the decision to do what's best for themselves, their family, and each other, right? That's uniting people, right? And the truth will always unite and the lies will always divide. Always remember that. As Reverend Barber says, we have been lied to in such a systemic way that we don't even know what truth is. And it's deliberate, it's intentional, and the purpose of it is to deceive us, to deceive you and I, right? And religion is a big, I mean, he didn't say this because he's a reverend, but I'm saying this, religion is one of the biggest tools that they use to divide us. And yet we pretend that religion is all about love. But yet we can accept the fact that Israel has killed tens of thousands of children, men and women, right? And yet we are comfortable with that because what? We see these people as the people in the Bible, and God is telling them to do this and defend themselves when they occupy the land that does not belong to them, right? There is no place in the Bible in which your God tell you that Israel is a land and that he promised his people a land of their own. No, the Jews are supposed to be in service of others. And if you don't believe me, go and ask any Jewish rabbi this. So the true Jews, right, the one who've converted to Judaism and the one who believe in Judaism understand their role. It is the Zionists who are the ones who are causing a lot of the issue. Go ask any Hasidic Jews or any Jewish group of people who really understand their faith, and they will tell you. But like I said, for us as black people, we're in love with the people of the Bible who, in our mind, don't look like us, right? And many of us are too ignorant to understand that in those days, black people were also part of the Hebrew faith. They were also part of early Christianity, all right? They didn't create it, as some of us want to believe, right? What the Europeans did or the Asiatics did was take what they interpret from our spiritual system and created their own, right? They just gave them different names, made up new myths, new stories, so that their people can follow and believe in, and took you out of it because, again, you know, racism was at the center of the invention of Christianity and Islam. right? And Judaism. You need to go back and look at the early writings, the parts that they don't tell you about, right? The part that they don't speak about, right? But if it's your holy book, and your holy book claims that what it claims, then what does that tell you? So we can't, as black people, we can try to place ourselves, as if we're the true Jewish people. We are not the true Jewish people. The European Jews are the true Jewish people. No one in ancient time called themselves a Jew. They were no Jewish people. Go look up the term Jew and Jewish and see when that term came about. So how could a name that came about in modern, I should say modern time, within the past 500-600 years, end up in a ancient manuscript thousands of years ago, right? So it always irks me when I hear black people say, well, we are the true Jews. No, we are not the true Jews. We might be part of the people who call themselves Hebrews or Hebrew Israelites, but they were no Jewish people. What's up, my brother? All right, to go to finish up.